Okay, teachers, now at this point your students should be online and they're working through the digital activities, and you are now accessing the print and the project experiences. So we need to walk through how to input those grades from print and project into the gradebook in FlexWorks. So go ahead and you'll click on your class, and again, for our purposes, we're going to click on Sample Class. Once we do that, then we'll click on Gradebook. Now, once I have my gradebook populate here, I want to go to my Group A, and I want to look at my entire group here. So you can see I'm looking at my entire group down the left-hand side, and here you can see I've got different tabs along the top: active participation, interactive reader, and critical thinking applications. This is all based on the print experience of Flex Literacy. So let me show you how easy it is for you to go ahead and assign grades for your students. It's based on a rubric for the active participation. So let's go ahead and click on our first student here. Now, do you see when I move my cursor here, I have an edit bar there. I'm going to click on that, and then you can see I have a rubric for how my student's doing. Now, if your students are top-notch, they're doing a great job, we wanted to make this easy for you to score. So you can simply click that last star, and all the stars will go ahead and populate for you. But let's say my student here isn't always participating in class discussions, and so I don't want to give them 5 stars, I want to give them 4. And maybe they're not always asking the questions they should, so I actually need to give them a different score for that. So I just want you to see it's easy to click on to have them all be 5 stars, or you can click and really personalize it for that student. So that's for their active participation, and this is for their grade for their interactive reader. Remember, I'll want to do this at the end of the week when we're finished with that story, so I can really pay attention and look at the students' notes and the student highlights and where they wrote down their vocabulary terms to make sure they're really doing all of these things. Again, if I've got a great student here, I can click on that star and I get 100% all the way down. But let's say, oh, you know what? He really struggled with that vocabulary. I want to change that grade. And he didn't do a very good job on the prediction. I can change that there. So here I can adjust my rubric accordingly. And then the last piece you want to score your students on is the critical thinking application. Here, this student, they did a phenomenal job with effort. Their performance, they did a pretty good job when they presented it to the class, and they were right on time with their schedule. So here I can do all of this and click Save to save those scores. So this is how I will go through, and I can walk through how to score my students in the print experience. Then we have our project experience. I can run my finger here on the editing marks, and I can decide here how I want to dig a little bit deeper on collaboration, writing, and presentation during the project experience. And see here, I'm going to work on how they did on week 1, week 2, and week 3. We'll go ahead and score this appropriately and click Save. Don't forget to always click Save at the end of your scoring so that the scores actually will save. Then we move to writing, and remember our project experience is using that 6 traits writing. And here we'll go ahead and we struggled a little bit more here, so I'm going to really look at the different grades here of how I want to score this. And again, I'll click Save as I go through each of these different features. And then we'll hit the presentation. And again, we'll score the student's presentation on how they did. We'll score the rubric here. Okay, always clicking Save to make sure I save all of these pieces. So that's how we score for the print and the project using the rubrics and using their interactive reader and their project-bound book. Just a reminder, we want you to go ahead and check on your alerts and how to differentiate instruction on your FlexWorks site. And don't forget to enter the grades from week 1 and week 2. We also invite you to go ahead and log on to the discussion area and tell us how differentiation impacts your classroom environment.